Kcal Dt. She's watching Peter Schwartz's publicity tour. Online donors have given this self-proclaimed J6 political prisoner nearly $90,000. We asked the White House specifically if they had reviewed the case of Peter Schwartz before issuing the pardon. Well, they didn't answer that question specifically. They did say President Trump campaigned on a promise to pardon J6 protesters, and he delivered on that promise. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.
This is Kcal News Mornings.
Fire victims want cleanup efforts to speed up, but putting a rush on the project could pose a danger in the future. We'll have a live report on how officials are navigating this difficult, delicate balance.
And video from inside the Delta plane that flipped and landed wheels up, the horrifying moment captured by passengers on board.
And this flu season is hitting harder than ever. We'll ask a doctor why the symptoms are more intense and what precautions we should take to stay safe. And let's go outside now. Beautiful out there. We have a little warm up on the way. It's 9 o'clock on the dot right now, and you are watching Kcal News Mornings at 9. Today is Wednesday, February 19th. I'm Rudy Shabazi.
I'm Jamie Yukas. Thanks so much for joining us. Kalina Estrinos and Marina Jurka, both here with your next weather and traffic. And it's foggy out there?
Well, I mean, it's foggy in one dense
one
location.
spot?
You know, just around that Long Beach area is where we're dealing with fog. Yesterday it was widespread. We saw it pretty much everywhere. But this morning, just that one spot. Everyone else is waking up to this. This is Hollywood Hills. It's very nice. Just a few fair weather clouds out there, and we will be looking at temperatures warming up very nicely as we head into the rest of the day. Right now, we are in the 50s across a good portion of our viewing area. Temperatures you can see already topping at 60 in Pasadena, 57 Riverside and Santa Ana and Malibu, 55 in Santa Clarita, and 49 degrees in Palmdale. Highs as we move into the afternoon are going to increase a little bit more so than yesterday even. We've got mid to upper 60s for the beaches in the LA and OC metro. And like I said, once that fog lifts, those temperatures will start to push through. And then mid to upper 70s for the valleys in the Inland Empire, which is a touch above average. But talk about above average temperatures. We have a huge warm up in store as we head into the week. I'm tracking that with your full next weather forecast, as well as those Santa Anas returning as we head into next week. Kalina?
Hi, good morning. So I have a new problem involving a motorcycle westbound 10 at Atlantic, and all lanes are stopped right now. I have a look at the activity in one of our Caltrans cameras. You can see the cars are not moving. Just saw the fire department go through this stretch, but again, you are fully stopped on that 10 westbound right at the Atlantic exit. It looks like a mess. The 10 has been a mess the entire morning, so this is adding to the already tough drive. You can see the backup on the 10 from West Covina toward that incident itself, and it'll only get worse the longer it takes them to get that motorcycle crash out of the way. Now, your alternate routes, you still can take them. I do have lots of traffic on both the 60 westbound and the 210 west, but they're open. They're crash free. I don't have any stalls to report there. So those are great options for you. Also, Valley Boulevard or Garvey Avenue are surface route options to help you avoid that incident. Ladies, back to you.
What a morning of traffic. All right, Kalina, thank you. A developing story right now. High-speed pursuit ends in someone's front yard. Assignment Manager Mark Liu at the desk where we dispatched our breaking news photographer. Mark.
Yeah, Jamie, and what our breaking news photog found when he got to the scene was not only did this fleeing driver damage 5 other cars in this person's yard, he somehow managed to get his own car in an almost vertical position. Take a look at the video. You're going to see that car right there standing upright on its nose. That's the suspect's vehicle, according to LAPD. Officers say the person behind the wheel was a robbery suspect. LAPD tried to pull him over just before 1:30 this morning, but that driver did not want to comply. That led to a short pursuit, lasted less than a minute, and came to an end with that spectacular crash right at the corner of West 84th and South Flower in Vermont Knolls. Officers say that driver hit a tree and flipped the car. That's how it ended up in the front yard of that home. That driver tried to run. This is video of that suspect in custody being taken to the hospital for some injuries he sustained. Now, in addition to damaging that fence near that home, that fleeing driver apparently ended up damaging at least 5 cars on that property, including this El Camino here. And what also looks like a minivan a little bit further down the driveway. That suspect now facing multiple felony charges. Good news, no one living in that home was injured. That's the very latest from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
Mark, thank you. We are getting a critical update on the debris removal operation happening in the Palisades burn zone.
The cleanup has reached 2 major milestones now. Kcal News reporter Tina Patel is live in Pacific Palisades with the progress being made. Tina.
Yeah, good morning. We are outside one of the EPA centers here in Pacific Palisades. You might remember that they started phase 1 cleanup in both of the fire zones in late January. Well, today they tell us they have now completed more than 80% of that phase. That's more than 8,000 properties that they have cleared of hazardous materials and lithium-ion batteries. Now, unfortunately, they admit there are about 3,400 properties that they say are too dangerous for their crews to clear because of either the terrain or structural integrity. There might be damaged walls or ceilings that could collapse. So the EPA is deferring those properties to the Army Corps of Engineers, who can better use heavy equipment to handle that kind of work. At a press conference this morning, it was not clear how much of a delay that could lead to. Local and federal leaders instead focused on the progress that they have been making with cleanup efforts.
The first Palisades property was completely cleared of phase 1 and phase 2 debris removal. We are moving with unprecedented speed and urgency in the Palisades fire burn area, and we want to thank all of our partners who are working in collaboration and partnership to make sure that we are moving with that kind of efficiency.
We also began debris removal on the Pacific Palisades Charter High School, Pali High. That has been ongoing for several days, and it's really exciting for the Palisades community, as we know that is a fixture and a really important building in many lives in that community.
Now, the Army Corps knows there have been a lot of concerns and questions about the debris removal process, so they explained a little bit more about that. They say all debris is being sorted on site. It is being wet down so there's no dust or ash, and they say then it is being put into plastic-lined trucks that are sealed to be taken to landfills and recycling centers around the state. They say it is the state that decides exactly where all those materials go. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Tina, thank you. Altadena is welcoming back a grocery store that's become a center of hope for the community.
Yeah, this is a great story. The doors have reopened for the first time in weeks, and Kcal News reporter Cara Finstrom is there live as people are coming back to the store. Cara, good morning.
Good morning. We're outside the store. This is one of the few businesses that survived here on Lake. And take a look at this, because it really has been a beacon of hope in this community. The big sign, Altadena Strong, we will rebuild. And I want to pan across the street and just give you a glimpse beyond this American Red Cross tent and the Army Corps of Engineers at some of the devastation, because it is everywhere here along Lake Avenue. So the owners, the staff inside, they say it's hard to describe what it feels like to be back.
You can't even imagine the feeling I have, because, you know, when we seen all this, we didn't even think that we're going to be here. And it's so amazing. You have two structures on each side that are demolished, basically, and we're still standing.
Cashier Linda Wiggins there says her family has lived in the area since the 70s. She did not lose her home, but 5 employees here did. The store's owners had to do